Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today we're talking with a rising force in entertainment whose journey is bridging viral content creation with compelling narrative stories, music, and visuals. He has parlayed his early social media success into flourishing on-screen career that has included appearances on Law and Order, the hit web series Tough Love Atlanta, Tyler Perry's Straw, and his daytime drama debut as Zach on Beyond the Gates. Beyond acting, he's created a force behind original series like Mechanical Pencil and his latest short film project, Politickin, where he's pushing the boundaries of storytelling with collaborators in front of and behind the camera. We have with us today Dasan Onyx Frazier. Dasan, thank you so much for joining.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. That was a great intro, by the way.
Yes,
I
yes.
appreciate
Absolutely. But before we get to you, Dasan, I would love for the others who have joined to be able to introduce themselves as well. So, Amari, if you could, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amari Jones. I am a writer, director, actress from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm also the creator of Mechanical Pencil, which
Yes.
is like a viral short film that has, made its way through TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. And I'm really excited to be here. I always love collaborating with Design and Tyler and Palmer. So yeah.
Awesome. And then Tyler and Palmer, please.
Universe. You're hilarious. Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Palmer Williams the third. I am a writer director as well, from Atlanta, Georgia. You may have seen my work on Mechanical Pencil and along with my ATL Smile, that have been done really well on social media and of course Politickin. And so yeah, that's who I am. I'm a director.
Hi there. My name is Tyler Ann Harris. I am an actress, producer, filmmaker, playwright, all around person. I've been in the entertainment industry for over a decade, most notably known for my stuff in like For Life, the crossover, dealing with a lot of great people, doing a lot of great things. And now I was tapped to work on Politicking with my friend Dasan and my longtime friend Amari and a new friend Palmer. And I'm so excited to be a part of this journey.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Very nice to meet all of you guys. And first and foremost, congratulations on everybody's success with Mechanical Pencil and Politicking. It is taking the web by storm, as you all know very well. I'm sure
it.
you've seen the response from that. Um, but I like to start off every interview with a very simple question. And so I'll kind of go around the room and have everybody answer for themselves. We'll try to keep it brief if we can because there's multiple people, but I'll start with you, Dasan. And that question is, who is Dasan Frazier?
Man, that's a great question. And as the years go on, I get to expand on who I am. And Dasan Onyx Frazier is a young, energetic, loving man of God. I'm a HBCU graduate myself. I'm a Morehouse man. I am from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Football player, athlete, creator, a man of many talents, I would like to think. But at the end of the day, I'm a man for the people, and I like to tell the stories that that need to be told and that can relate to people. And yeah, I just expand every day, and every day that God gives me, and I just walk the path that He created for me. Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right. And Amari, let's go with you next.
Yeah, I'll say Amari Jones is a woman of God. Amari is someone um, who loves her community, who loves to create within her community. A lover of the 90s and early 2000s. Yeah, and I'm someone that always wants to create for her people. Yeah.
Dope, dope. All right, I'm gonna flip the script a little bit and start with you, Tyler.
I would say I would love to have the title creative extraordinaire next to my name. I'm very much so a lover of the arts, a lover of politics. I got my degree in political science with a concentration in international affairs. I love constructs. I'm just a lover of human beings, and I would love to reflect as a mirror onto everyone through the arts.
Palmer Williams is, of course, a movie connoisseur, but I'm also a man who likes to tell authentic stories, of course, through the lens of a black male. Um, I also am an ambassador of Christ. I love the Lord, and I try to intertwine Him with all of my works. If it isn't through blatantly saying it, it's through the visuals, and you can see the light shine through in my works. But just love working with other dope creative people in my field, and want to just keep striving for the moon, but be known as one of those directors like a Spike Lee or a Quentin Tarantino, Ryan Coogler. But that's Palmer Williams.
Wow, that's dope, man. I love to hear, new, young, rising talent that, have good heads on their shoulders, positive. They know who they are. You're sure of yourself, and you're pushing and you're moving forward, and you're setting out on something that you've wanted to do. You're pushing for your dream, and I love that because it reminds me of myself when I was younger, and just to hear everybody's responses of who they are. That's amazing. That's
Sir,
really dope. Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, you guys have built, quite an audience with both Mechanical Pencil and Politickin. Um, let's start with Mechanical Pencil first and talk a little bit about how that got started.
Oh, well, it's so funny because I was actually in a song called Sticky by Tyler the Creator. And
Yes.
after that response, I saw in the comment section people like, "Oh, this reminded me of when the guys was rapping in the lunchroom." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I can feel that. They got a heartbeat. They got a pulse to it." And then so I was like, Mechanical Pencil got a ring to it. What if we did a short film and we had guys rapping in the classroom and it's detention. And that's when I called up Palmer and Palmer was like, "Yep, let's do it. I love it." Boom. And then I hit up Dasan. I was like, "Dasan, would you be willing to rap in it?" And everybody was just such on go for the idea because everybody had a shared experience of like, there's like that pencil tap is generational for real, like you can, it's something that the one thing I love about Mechanical Pencil, it seems like it's like multi-generational and I love that, and it's a good, way to bridge the gap, and so that's kinda like how, like, the nature of the idea, came about. Yeah.
And you knew early on with the title Mechanical Pencil, and the fact that you were in Tyler the Creator's video, you knew that you were going to intertwine music within this series and this short.
Yes, I did, 'cause it was all about the rap and, like, that raw beat of being, of the fist and the pencil, but also, like, Palmer came in, like, I learned so much about how much, music means within a scene, so, like, even when like, I think when their heads look up, you have different sounds coming through, like, I forgot, is the trumpet or something? I can't remember, but, yeah, it definitely was always gonna have, like, a musical element, that was really special, so yeah.
Definitely special, definitely familiar to everybody's ears. It's relatable, and it just brings everybody into that world. You guys have found a way to create that world so seamlessly and make it feel like you're in the room, while all of that is happening. It doesn't feel like you're watching it from afar. It feels like you're right there and you have front row seat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty dope. Dasan or Palmer, what are your thoughts and takes on Mechanical Pencil when you guys were brought into it?
Yes, I mean, so man, Amari called me like she was just like, "Yo, Dasan, I got this idea," and I didn't really know to the magnitude of what it was gonna be. I'm not gonna say I don't think that anybody really knew, but it was just like we was just coming together to help our friend, and that's when I got to meet the other guys when we went to Amari house just for the rehearsal, and then I was like, "Oh, this sound good," but like I said, I didn't know that Palmer was filming this, and we hadn't really had nothing. Um, on the vertical series wise that really showed that type of thing, right? So like to that quality, right? And so I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. We're just gonna make a cool little video, and then it's gonna do its thing. But yeah, the people was like, yeah, we need this, huh? And
Yeah.
so yeah, that was just my experience with it, Palmer.
Yeah, no, you hit it right on the head. Like Amari came to me with the idea, and we just world build. We That's all we did. We had Justin help come up with like the musical direction, the like each rapper, like everyone, like they wrote their own original raps. But I came at it from like a film point of view and made sure that it was engaging and it didn't just feel like another piece of content on the phone. Like even if you have cinematic cameras, we still want so like I like elements of breaking the fourth wall and if I don't know if you realize it, but Scott Pilgrim reference when like the yo comes out, like those little details like that we threw in there to make it feel like okay, this feels like a dream. This feels like we can exist in this space with these creatives, and so with that in combination with Amari's writing and making it be a story in the second half, and then us bringing our minds together to make sure that it still lands on a Christ note, like letting your light shine before man. Like even shout out to Morgan who did the graphics for it. Like it was a collaborative effort to make this one conducive piece. You know what I mean? So I was honored to be a part, and I love the '90s coding. Like, but it also felt today. So it was
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. It definitely feels, it gives the 90s nostalgia, but it has today's vibe built into it. And it
Mhm.
doesn't feel aged at all. It feels very refreshing, very new. This is what I feel like a lot of audiences is craving. And just also incorporating the music, the popular music of today that everybody loves. It just resonates throughout, and it just makes sense through and through.
So,
And the fact that you guys are all together putting this together as a vertical series early on before people were talking about verticals, uh,
yeah,
Right.
that just kind of shows where the direction of things are going and headed, and how to utilize social media in a way to where it works for you, and it helps you gain the attention that you're looking for.
sir.
Now let's talk a little bit about the visuals real quick, because the aesthetic of the camera work and the coloring and the editing and how everything just is real cohesive and works, and it's uh, quick and punchy, but at the same time there's a certain level of quality there that is not it doesn't give amateur at all. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess I want to ask, first and foremost, how long have you been doing this? Behind the camera, and was this the vibe that you were originally going for? Or is this kind of how everything turned out, and then so you just continued on?
So when Amari came to me with the idea, of course, we had like the iPhone like reference, and so I'm also a fan of Wes Anderson. So I basically what I pulled from was Grand Budapest Hotel. That
Yeah.
was the type of style that I wanted to showcase in it, but with of course Spike Lee references because he's a little bit more punchy than Wes Anderson. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, we just like we're like okay, let's just go out and do it cinematic. Let's not just do it halfway. Let's make a shot list. Let's get sound. Let's get a gaffer. We had a whole team, to come out and make it happen. And I guess just to answer your other question, like how long have I been doing it? I've had a camera in my hand since sixth grade. I've been editing since fifth grade, and I've been doing landscape, and I've been on set. My dad is also Floyd the barber from House of Pain, so I watched him like my whole life. So I've always been on set. And so with that being said, I've literally been immersed in the entertainment industry since I was a child. Um, but yeah, that just to tell you a little bit more about. And I went to Georgia State University for film and media. Graduated about a year ago. Yep, yep. And so now I'm like on my directorial run. That's just to
Okay.
tell you a little bit more about myself. Yeah.
Okay, dope, man. Congratulations. And I honestly did not know anything about, you guys. So all of this is I'm learning in real time. I want to ask you some questions, Tyler. I know you came on board with Politickin. Um, talk a little bit about that experience and what they like, how they ushered you in, and what your role is.
To Politikin, sure. So, funny enough, I knew everyone in this circle without knowing that I knew them. So, most recent, well, when I was little, I used to go to an acting class called Dwayne Boyd's Premier Actors Network. And my mother used to teach there, and Amari was one of my classmates. So I grew up with Amari, lost touch, lost contact. Then I met Dasan through coaching him, which was very fun. And then we ended up, because we're close in age, we ended up becoming cool friends within the industry. And Dasan was connected to Amari, and Amari was connected to Palmer. And
Hmm.
then when I re-met Palmer, Palmer was like, I know your mama. That used to be my acting coach. I was like, what? So I feel like it was one circle that the Lord just wanted to come together at the right time. And during the shooting of Mechanical Pencil, I had my own, I heard about the project and I thought it was super dope, but I had my own things going.
Hmm.
And with Politickin, when Dasan wants something done. He's a wonderful producer. When he wants something done, he will get it done. So he hit me up and he was like, Tyler, I think this would be cool. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he was like, no, I think this would be cool. And I was like, okay, what do you want to do? And it felt like as soon as I asked that question, everything else just fell in line. As far as like my capacity on the project, definitely producer. I do a lot of producing work across the board. So line producing, creative producing, um, anything from setting it all up and making sure it runs well. And
Hmm.
then I came on as writer with Amari. Amari had a base outline of the script, and Dasan encouraged me to, do what I needed to do. And me and Amari collaborated, and we came out with everything that you see. And I absolutely love it because it feels so poetic. Even though it is like a film script and it's a vertical, it still feels like that same type of that Spike Lee vibe, where it's just like, this is what it is, it's in your face, but it's not shoved down your throat because you know what it is and you see the references, even down to the Baldwin quote at the end with the actor Jared Woodford, who is absolutely amazing
Yeah.
doing that quote. It's just like, what are we talking about? And then the shots, I really am grateful to God being on this project and getting this team together, because there are now new things that are being talked about. And I'm like, yeah, I actually think this is a really good creative outlet for all of us, for even for our own individual projects and for all of us to come together. It's very obvious that we have something here. So excited
Yeah.
to be a part.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, this is a very smart way to introduce yourself to the world. Even if you have background in the industry, maybe a lot of people don't know who you are just yet. You're still rising or emerging talent. You might have had some guest spots and whatnot, but for actors out there and filmmakers and writers, this is the perfect way to showcase your work, your talent, your passion, and get the exposure that you're looking for. And I wish,
Absolutely. Just
I
to
wish,
piggyback, I do
sure.
think that like it's really interesting because I never made mention of this to everyone else, but it's really interesting changing the format from traditional media to social media, because constantly I had to hit this on up in the group chat. I don't understand, who am I tagging and what am I doing? Because I come from traditional media. I've been in the
Mhm.
game for 10 years. So coming
Yeah,
from like being on set in a certain way to like this type of vibe, it's the same type of format and structure, but it's a whole different beast. And
it
you are
is.
really competing with, like, at this point, we're not even competing with other producers or whatever. You're competing with the algorithm.
You're
I'm like, this
competing.
is really interesting metrics to learn versus like an original, like an AVOD type of distribution. So it's really cool being a part of this format as well.
Yeah, I was a fan. I'll tell you guys something really quick. I was a fan of Quibi when it first came out, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar
Okay.
with
Yeah.
Quibi.
Hmm.
But it had a very quick rise and a very quick fall. It was less
Yeah.
than a year. It was about 6 to 8 months. Um,
Yeah.
but I was excited for that to take place. And during that process, I signed up. I was a member. I was watching all of the vertical shorts and everything, and I just thought that this was the wave of the future. And then, of course, they were having some financial issues, and then COVID happened, and
Yeah.
then Quibi just went belly up. But right after Quibi died, um, I started to pay attention to what was happening on social media. And then Instagram introduced Reels, obviously to compete with TikTok, but introduced Reels, and Facebook with Stories. And then TikTok also, ramped up how much time that you could upload. And then Instagram, they all kind of followed suit and were, competing with each other. And in my mind, I'm seeing this as like, well, they're really giving you the platform and the basis of what Quibi was just in social media. And for the longest, I was wondering why most people weren't really taking advantage of that. And,
Hmm.
and now, fast forward 5, 6 years later, here we are, where because of other countries are doing micro dramas, it's an $8 billion industry already in Asia
Yeah,
right now. So America's trying to catch up, and catch up on the time that we lost. But this has been happening for quite some time, and the tools have actively been there. So to see the next generation, the younger generation, to come in, utilize the tools that are given to them and know how to use them, and learn how to leverage and get the algorithm to pick it up, and get all of the exposure that you're actively looking for. Like I said, this is the wave of the future. Like this is how new shows are going to be introduced. New shows are going to get picked up and greenlit. Actors are going to be discovered, writers are going to be discovered.
absolutely.
Yeah, so this is amazing, and you guys are really at the forefront of doing this. Obviously, there's other people who are doing this as well, but it's just amazing to see that you guys are taking it by storm.
Yeah, yeah. And just a quick side note too, like I literally just did my first my first series, micro or vertical drama, and the producers of this work for the app, that they're doing in
Quibi.
Asia and everything like that. Not Quibi,
Oh,
but
okay.
the
Okay.
app that's kind of like on the rise right now. And so it was just crazy because there's not a lot of black stories right now, and so the story that I'm on right now is like we're finally entering that space, but this is the time. Like you said, it's an $8 billion industry, and it's on the rise for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful for my crew, because like you said, we're coming in on a different platform and everything,
Yeah.
and
It's
it's
always the early adapters who win. The people who adapted early are the ones who win, and the ones who are at the top of the top. You know what I'm saying?
true,
So
true.
you guys want to look at it that way, just like how it is in every other space, the tech space or whatever. Anybody who's the early adopter, they're the ones who are gonna make it at the top. You know what I'm saying?
And with quality, I do want to add, because I think just in hearing conversations behind the scenes, heavy in the industry, a lot of people tend to look down on vertical dramas, vertical shorts, stuff like that, because of the low barrier to entry. But I think when you have a solid team, a real creative team that knows what they're doing, it's essentially the same thing that's crossing over. And you can't deny quality when it comes out. And politicking and mechanical pencil, my gosh, mechanical pencil, my gosh, mechanical pencil. The quality is there. So it's like you can't deny what's being given to you, because it's just that good.
Right. I do want to ask, because you guys have everything in place on both mechanical pencil and politicking. The only area that I know that's going to require changing, and I'm sure you guys are actively working on this, is the music. Unless you're able to get the licensing, how are you
Yeah,
guys how are you guys
yeah.
going to continue on with the music?
So I guess, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I guess to talk more about the music, since so of course not with politicking and with mechanical pencil, but with future forward projects, it needs to be original soundtrack. So we of course know people who can produce tracks. It just takes planning and preparation, like with everything. Just the amount of time and prep that we put towards the visual, we need to put towards the same thing sonically,
Mhm.
original soundtracks, things of
Mhm.
that nature. Um, like even with the project that we're producing next, the whole thing is going to be all original music, and I have never done that. Like I've been putting music that I just love because I'm a music hip hop 90s head, Marvin Gaye head. Like I'll just throw that on my films and then it sits on a shelf because I can't put it out because it's got other people's music. So I like my intentionality with my project and our projects moving forward, it's gonna be all original. Just to, I guess, just to make sure that we can exercise every avenue possible. Now, I don't know, politicking in the future, we have to sit down and have that conversation and figure out like what we're gonna do too, because it also has to do with breaking the algorithm. Like, are we gonna do two versions of the next version? Because we could go film festival route, but on Instagram we could do copywritten music. It just depends on our distribution strategy in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can also look at it this way for the social media aspect of it. It doesn't always necessarily have to involve music, or it could have music that's like license free, but just subtle in the background. It's not main. It's not really the focus. And you guys, it might be a scene, between two actors or several actors, or even the rappers or the musicians, where they're doing something a cappella or doing it in a different way, still showcase the music. um, and then for the longer format or something for film festival, then yeah, you can go ahead and focus more so on the original music, original score, and put more emphasis there, where you'll get more notoriety. The only reason why I bring that up is because even within the social media space, in some cases, depending on the song, they can still kill it, and that's what you guys want to avoid, especially when trying to gain the attention. You don't want it to be going super viral, and the next thing you know, Instagram or YouTube or whoever is saying, "Nope, sorry."
I've mainly had that issue with TikTok.
Okay,
Yeah, like Instagram has been pretty easy, but TikTok,
yeah.
it's like it
I
can
tell you, Sony Universal has killed several of my videos.
for
Yeah,
sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's just something that on the side. I just wanted to put that out there in case you guys weren't thinking about that. To when moving forward, definitely want to think about that moving forward.
yes,
Uh,
sir.
so Dasan, let's talk a little bit about your acting career. You've featured on Law and Order. You were on Straw. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, how did you get into the acting space, and at what age, and what made you want to become an actor?
Oh man, it moved fast. It moved fast for me. COVID 2020. We stopped playing football. Like I said, I'm a Morehouse man, so I was playing football on scholarship at Morehouse. And when COVID hit, it was kind of like you got to find what you're going to do next, right? You either going to gain something because we're sitting at home, or you're going to let this time, go past and you don't do nothing, right? So I always been the kind of guy in the friend group to be a little different in the sense where I show my personality a little bit more. And, just growing up as a football player and a black man, you're taught to be and suppress your emotions and everything like that, right? So I kind of always just sheltered it for the most part. But when COVID happened, about just I got on TikTok and I was doing my thing on there, right? And that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence just seeing the people engage with me, right? Because I never really showcased my personality online or anything like that. It was always just my mom and my dad. They knew I act like a fool all the time. So when that happened, I seen they were doing online classes. It was an acting class that popped up. It was Tasha Smith's Actors Workshop, aka T-Saw, right? And
Yes.
so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. Like I'm gonna just try that out and see how it pops off. And I got in there and I sucked bad, And the teacher let me know. It was cool though because it was a challenge. Everybody thinks they can act until it's time to really break it down, and this was very new to me. So I kind of fell in love with the process and the challenge of everything, and I wanted to keep going because I wanted to do good on the scene that I had at hand every week, right? And so I'm getting a little bit better, and then by the time 2021, by the time I came back to school, um, my senior year, I had electives, so I took all acting classes, right?
Mm.
And I was at Spelman in Clark because Morehouse doesn't necessarily have a drama program like there, and so I was on all acting classes, and I was just opening up, and as soon as I graduated, that's when I got into Pan, Dwayne Boyd's class, and that's when I met Tyler. And I was just doing my thing in there, and that's when I met Jared, the one who plays
Jared
the
Wolford.
professor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He plays the professor, and I took his class as well. And it was just raps after that. Like I was able to. I'm so blessed in this process because I was doing brand deals on social media. Like I had built my social media up at this time where I was like, okay, I'm making some money doing this. I don't have to necessarily go corporate right now. I'm gonna just take a leap out on faith. And so while I was doing that, I just had free time to be in classes, and I've been in classes like ever since.
Hmm.
And then I got a manager. About I'm about I signed with my manager in 2022. I'm 3 years, yeah, I'm 3 years, professionally or whatever you would call it. And first
No,
2 years
that's
was just building up. I didn't have a credit or anything to my name, and then just when what's this quote? How the quote go? When opportunity meet preparation,
right.
something like that.
Something like that.
It's something
Yes.
like that. And so
Yeah.
boom, the one thing had popped up. It was a TV show, Tough Love Atlanta, and I did my thing, kind of just getting my feet wet, and then shortly after that, the straw had came about, and I just did my audition, and and I got my welcome to the league moment when I was in there with Taraji and Mr. Glenn Turman. It was like what you either gonna do it or you gonna get fired, right? And I
Right.
and I,
Right.
I want to come back,
I'm gonna do
So
it.
I did my thing in there, and that was really like the big eye opener for me, because it was like like they're human too, and to be in there in the room, and they say the words just like you do,
Yes.
and that was like, okay, I know that I'm on the right path. God is leading me the right way. And so this year, so we did that last June. This year in March, I did Beyond the Gates, and then the next week I was on a sitcom, and it hasn't came out yet, hasn't announced yet. So I was on this, and then that while I was doing the live show of that sitcom, in the middle of the show, that my agent's calling me and she says, "You book Law and Order. You got to be out there next week." So that following week, I was in New York for 2 weeks, and we did Law and Order, and that it was oof. It was God is so good.
I also want to say, because Dasan is so humble, he also found time to stay late with us to do mechanical pencil in between that, and then hopped on his flight. Like, so I just want to say,
Yeah,
you're
no,
just
I'm here for the people. My people need me. Let's do it. Let's make
yeah,
it
he
happen.
wasn't playing.
No, but it also showcases your work ethic. It showcases that you want to do
Yes.
it. You're showing up for not just for yourself, but for your friend group who's also passionate and active and has a strong work ethic as well. And so
Yeah,
you guys are working together as a collective, but you also have you're also working on your career too. Uh,
absolutely.
all of you. So yeah, I would say to continue to be that way, and
Sir.
don't let it, no matter how high you rise, continue to, keep with that work ethic, and everything will work in your favor. I feel like sometimes people get to a certain point and then they tend to get lazy, because
Mm.
they've got the money, they've got the fame, they've got they got everything that they think they want, and then so they start to let go of the talent. And then when you start to let go of the talent will let you go. You gotta stay steadfast, and keep that work ethic and keep that passion going, man. So,
Sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
Absolutely.
but two
And keep
years,
God
2 years,
first. Let's
man,
keep
yeah,
God
keep that
first.
first. Absolutely. But 2 years of obviously you're doing the work, you're doing the classes, you're showing up for yourself in every way
Mm.
possible. But 2 years and have that type of success that quick is amazing.
And I don't take it for granted at all, because of course there's people that have been in the game, 15 plus, so I'm just definitely grateful, and just humble, like you said, that for every project that comes. And then my peers here, like we're creating, and everything is clicking. Tyler was in class, and I'm doing some work with her, and she's teaching me. So just
That's it.
definitely that's how we got to do it to keep going. Because Ryan and Michael B. Jordan, they already up there. Like it's we was talking about this while we was at Howard. You got to work with who's in the room with you. You
Right.
got to
Exactly.
come up with who's here with you.
You gotta work across. You gotta
Yeah.
network.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, you said something important earlier, and hopefully the people listening and watching picked up on it. I picked up on it. You were doing videos, and brand deals and stuff on the side as well.
Yeah,
You guys have the perfect opportunity to also merge that within your content too, within the vertical space and the social media space as well.
Absolutely.
Has that crossed your guys' mind as well as something to maybe incorporate without making it corny or cheesy or feeling like an ad or anything like that, but maybe like product placement or something to that effect?
Absolutely, absolutely. We definitely talked about that. We would love to, it's just kind of hard to know who's willing to work where, right? So like you have to, just the brands that come up. We definitely talked about it. Like a do rag brand or a food
Right.
brand. It's just
Something
we,
that
we
makes sense.
yeah, we're creative enough to definitely throw something in there. Like that's not the. It's just about who wants to, make something special and yeah. So we're definitely open to that. Tyler, Amari, Palmer, which are
Yeah.
they
What is
are
everybody else's thoughts on that?
Yeah, we definitely well, at least for mechanical pencil, I've received some offers. Some I've been like, cool, and then some like we in the talks right now that I feel like will be more so better fit for mechanical pencil. But I think we're all just very, very intentional with what we decide to do with like what brand. But I definitely think that not only with mechanical, because I think that we're all just creative enough to like whatever brand comes our way that's good. I think we'll be able to like, especially with Palmer's brain,
Right.
the way you
yeah.
give Palmer an idea, he will run with it.
And
So I think it's definitely something that could happen. And Palmer, if you go on his Instagram page, he's worked with so many brands already. So
hey,
I'm
look,
sure.
let's
Um,
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
As someone coming from traditional media, I'm always worried about the integrity of the project, especially as a producer.
Hmm.
Because I love when creatives have the opportunity to keep their IP. I think of a Ryan Coogler with Sinners, with Michael B. Jordan and Proximity Media, or even a Monkey Paw Productions, of how, yeah, you might be able to incorporate a brand deal here and there, but I don't want my movie looking like one long trailer, one
Right.
long commercial.
Right.
And there's also a space for that in the industry. However, I do think that they are so dope. I'm sorry. Everyone I'm working with is so dope. Palmer's so dope. Dasan's so dope. Amari's so dope. I know I'm dope. I think if the right brand came along and asked, absolutely. And there have been a lot of wonderful brands that have come along and asked. We just don't want to mix the integrity of the project with something that may not fit,
yeah.
because there's always space for that somewhere else.
Yeah. Sometimes when you push,
Hmm.
sometimes it takes how special it is.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, we get it, we see it. But when we take time to cook it in the oven a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? Get that mother's love. Like it's so much more special. Maybe that's like the old school in us or me, but yeah.
It's all about alignment. I'm very adaptive, but I do agree like you shouldn't have to shift the IP too much for it to fit within the realm, but I'm so used to being so hands-on with the executive producers. Like I naturally go into that producer role when it comes to any project. Like to shout out one brand, Lemons on Fire is a clothing brand that I work with. Me and him are able to work so interactive with his clothes. We build worlds around his whole collection. So I come from basically taking somebody's product and sending it to the roof because that's just like what I'm so used I got into the flow of doing while I was in school because that was a way for me to pay for bills while I'm in college. Like I gotta eat. I'm on college campus. So I was working with a lot of brands and I just made stuff happen with folks. But my goal is to do movies and that's why working with Amari on Mechanical Pencil and to shout out Myra on My ATL Smile and the most recent collaboration with Dasan and Tyler and Amari for Politickin has been so fulfilling because that is like that's where I want to be. You know what I mean? So to answer your question,
And I feel like to piggyback off that, like the goal is always to get that show, to get that movie. So
Yes.
we're like, this is like Politic and Mechanical Pencil, the other stuff that's coming up. It's us truly training ourselves. So when that opportunity comes, we're ready. That's why every time
There.
we shoot the vertical, it's like dead for real. Like Tyler don't play by that producing. Like it's just everything. This is really our training grounds so that
yes,
we're able to like keep going to get bigger and bigger. So yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. No, and the reason why I was asking that is, just like with the vertical format and Quibi and all of that, there's already conversations happening where brands are beginning to shift and start their own micro studios or mini studios, mini networks, and tell stories within their market. and be able to showcase it that way. So it doesn't necessarily feel like a commercial, but there's still product placement and product involved within the scope of things. So the only reason why I'm
Right.
throwing these things out there is these are ideas, that whether you've thought about them or haven't thought about them, they're coming, you know.
Right. 100%.
And so you also want to be mindful of that, be prepared for that as well, and see what it is that you could do to implement, your projects in those spaces too. So that way you have a footing no matter what space ends up taking the lead or taking off.
Right. And to piggyback off of that, like you are 110% right. I don't think any of us are saying we wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
I think we would be open to it if the alignment is right, because like I was literally talking about this today about Creed 3. Like if you look at Creed 3, there's so much product placement,
Yes.
Hennessy
Yeah.
on the actual inside of the ring when they're fighting. That has been a thing that's been around for decades. I just feel like we have to find that right partner. You know what I mean?
I will also say, just to tag on to like the idea of brand partnerships and sponsorships, the verticals are wonderful. We're doing amazing with it. And I'm proud to say that I'm a part of a creative team that is not extremely focused just on numbers because that's where quality begins to lack. It's all about the quality here. And I also think going forward, if anyone wants to EP for a film,
There
for
you go.
short films,
Yes.
each and every person in this call not only has our own IPs that we would love to be funded, we are also more than willing and welcome to hop on a set, and we are more than willing and welcome and trained. So absolutely, reach out. We can do a vertical, we can do a commercial, but wouldn't you much rather have a long form piece of IP that people can hold with them forever? I know I would.
Yeah.
I was trained landscape. I was trained long form. I had to adapt that to vertical. I'm like, how do I get how do I play with composition with this frame? I love playing with negative space in the composition. How do I do this vertically? You know what I'm saying? But we are all trained for long form content. Designs on movie sets. That's 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Like we've just been adapting to the times, like you said, the forefront of it. But we're all qualified.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I love that, and I love the space that you guys are in. I find it very interesting. I'm really interested in seeing where, the landscape of Hollywood and filmmaking goes moving forward, because it's kind of up in the air. It's really it's really a huge playground for indie filmmakers, um, and emerging filmmakers and writers. Like, you guys have the ability to play around as much as possible, without really feeling the effects of failure. Because this is a time and a place where everybody's trying to figure it out. So I just find it interesting, and I like to see when, new and emerging talent is taking advantage of all of that, and pushing the needle forward. I'm guessing that all of this was done on a grassroots level, or did you guys receive funding to create these projects?
I guess I'll speak for, I guess, Mechanical Pencil first. Heavy on grassroots, hella favors. And of course, I have a job, so a lot of it was coming from me. Uh, yeah. But on my most recent project that we haven't put out yet, I did do a GoFundMe, but all Mechanical Pencils was literally funded from myself, and also having just friends that were talented enough to show up on set. Yeah, heavy grassroots though, for me, for Mechanical Pencil at least.
Okay, okay. And what about Politickin?
Politickin, we made a wish. We threw it in the sky. Tyler, how long it take us to how quick do we film politicking?
You
How
want me
many
to?
days? How do
Politicking was a wonderful masterpiece
Yeah.
with so many people coming a part of an amazing project that filmed in less than one day. Um, we had multiple actual shot. Like I said, we're trained for long form content, so we approached it like it as if it was a feature or short film. We had a very long shot list that was absolutely wonderful that came out to what you see, and a bunch of really young and cool creatives who just wanted to show up and just so much fun. And going forward, we will be funded. I'm putting that in the air. I know that my God is a good God. I know that my God is everlasting and sovereign. And my Father did not have us make all these wonderful projects just to not be funded. So we're going to be absolutely funded going forward. Very funded.
The big thing that me and Palmer always talk about is like we always are stressed out because we never have enough money to pay everybody. And the least we do is make sure that everybody is fed. But it definitely, I do think that over time, you have so many people that want to show up, that want to be a part of the movement. I think that that's amazing. I think that is great. But at the same time, like because our projects would not be what it is without everybody showing up, everybody staying late until 4 a.m., 6 a.m., trying to make sure everything works. Like,
Yes.
so it definitely, we definitely would love to be like funded more. Because I know me, I'd be going broke trying to make sure film happens, but it's for the love of the game at the end of the day. But yeah.
Love the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
no, but
love.
it's paying off for you guys, tenfold, and it's going to continue to pay off. And I also believe that you guys are definitely going to get the funding that you deserve and that you require. And if you guys are able to do this with minimal funding and just, um,
It's money can do it. Let me tell
right,
you.
imagine, right, imagine what you can do with some money. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
The sky's the limit there, and I know that there's going to be plenty of people. If they're not already kicking down your door, they're going to be kicking down your door at some point, and you guys won't have to worry moving forward. I will ask, what is what does the future hold for Mechanical Pencil and for Politickin? And then I know you have other projects as well, but I want to start with Mechanical Pencil and Politickin, and then I'll ask you what's next beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess for mechanical pencil, I feel like just to be transparent, I'm still trying to figure that out only because I think it's just because I have so many different, like I want to branch out of mechanical pencil. I want to do my own college show. That's just always been my goal.
Mhm.
And so mechanical pencil really, first of all, mechanical pencil is supposed to be a one offer, and then it turned into two, and then it turned into three. So really the way I work, at least right now, if I get in another bomb idea for mechanical pencil, I'm so down to like, let's do it, right? But right now, I've been shifting my focus to get ready to. I want to pitch, and I have a manager and stuff, and a literary agent. So I have some stories that I'm ready to pitch. So as far as mechanical pencil, I guess you could say that it's on a pause for right now. But who knows? You never know what brand deal want to come through, or if I get another idea, it's down. Because like I think the first one I called everybody, I got an idea, and then I was like, I'm done. Then the second one I had a random idea, and then the third one happened. I'm like, y'all got another idea. So who knows? I think the options are limitless. But right now I've kind of shifted gears because I'm trying to get ready to pitch and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with you just for a quick second. I have one more question, Amari. Um, for beyond Mechanical Pencil, are you looking to get into TV and film, or just on the TV side or on the film side?
I guess you could literally say both, but right now I've been more so geared towards the TV side. I do have a film idea that I was working on last year, but you know how creatives go. You get an idea, you work on it, then sometimes you pause on it. But right now I'm really heavy in like the want to be like the TV route, showrunner, producer, stuff like that. So yeah. Mm.
Okay, awesome. And now I'm gonna move over to Tyler and Palmer. Tyler with Politicking. Do you know what the future holds for Politicking? And then outside of that, you know, what does the future hold for you?
As far as politicking, there are ideas. I can't say what the ideas are, but there are certain things that are being in the works right now, across the board, of course, with Dasan, Amari, and Palmer's input on it. And I'm super excited for what's to come, and people will see it because they're wonderful and they see it already. So there we are. Um, as far as with my own stuff, funny enough, right after we filmed Politicking, the same week I had to fly to New York because I sorry, it's a notification. The same week I had to fly to New York because I was premiering a play that I had written in the West Village. And I got a playbill. I'm super happy about it, super
Oh,
excited about it.
yes.
Came
Yeah.
back home, so now I'm a playwright. So, what does the future hold for me? I have no idea. There's so much going on right now as far as like producing different projects, features, shows, of course, our vertical series ideas. And then I'm an artist on the side. I do poetry, I rap, but mainly my bread and butter has always been acting. So of course that's always at the forefront with my agent, my manager is acting. So I'm just super excited for the New Year's. People are trying to lock my dates down and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, guys. But I'm just trusting that the Lord will work it all out so I can do everything I want to do.
Absolutely. What about you, Palmer?
Okay, so with me for 2026, starting it off with, of course, so of course we're in conversation about more politicking, but I'm also working on a short film called The Love Files. It's an anthology series about 7 different forms of love and the relationships that are associated with love. And so me and Tyler and Marquise Jones, my producing team, to make that film come to life. Same quality of the stuff that you've seen, but in a more landscape realm.
Hmm.
And then in addition to that, I'm also working on a feature. So I'm writing it currently. I have 3 concepts that I've been sitting on. I've already shot proof of concepts for 2 of them, but it's time to stop playing and make them all the way, like write them all the way, 90 pages for all 3 concepts, so that I can of course retain ownership, but still partner with whoever wants to see those ideas come to light and bet on me because they're dope concepts. And it's definitely, like I said, I want to be able to have that directorial run as like in the feature span with my heroes such as Spike Lee, Quentin Tarantino, Ryan Coogler. Like that's where I want to go next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a really, big thing because Palmer is so used to bringing everybody else's ideas to life. And so I think it's going to be really cool to see Palmer step in and like bring his own ideas to life. And I think
Yeah.
that'll be really great. So yeah.
Absolutely. You also have to pour into yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. What about you, Dasan?
Rephrase the question for me one more time. I want to
Well,
make sure I'm answering it correctly.
well, I kind of made it general, but I was asking like what the future is for politicking and mechanical pencil. But then outside of that, what is the future for you um, moving forward on your other
Yeah.
project?
Yeah. So, for politicking like Tyler and Palmer mentioned, there's some stuff in the works. We got some buzz and we're seeing the reaction of the people, and of course, like Tyler said, it was this was supposed to be a one off. Like we had something to say, and we wanted to get the message out, and it did its job. But of course, like once you do something good, you gotta keep the ball rolling, right? So we'll see. I have no idea what the future holds exactly yet for that, but I'm definitely excited, especially with the team that I have right here. Like I feel like we can do anything, you know.
Yeah.
If we got
Yeah.
to go to the moon and write about it, I know that we could get it done and make it enjoyable to watch, right? For me in particular, man, I'm ready to step up. I'm ready to go series reg, to get on these big networks and bring this character to life, whatever that is. And um, there's a couple projects that's starting, or that's coming about that I've heard about for 2026 that I know that I'll crush. Just being there, but at the end of the day, it's all what God has for me, and
Yes.
so that's the path that I'm on, and I'm just excited for whatever I have next and whatever He has in store for me next to go out and attack it. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. I love that you guys are all humble, down to earth. You know, love God. And put it all in God's hands and have the faith. That everything's going to work out because you need all of that as well,
Agreed.
especially within this business, hearing a lot of no's and a lot of people giving you or telling you what to do or what you should do, like like myself tonight. But uh, yeah, if you ignore the noise and just focus and trust in God and, put in the work, everything will fall into place the way it's supposed to. Um,
And I
and
want to say thank you, like thank you for taking your time out and
Yes.
yeah, no, thank you guys.
allowing us to be on your platform
Yes.
and giving us the gems that you have tonight, man. I'm taking them, putting them in my pocket, man, for sure. And
Appreciate that.
and this is just the first of many of us connecting, and
Yes.
we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna make some magic for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. If there's anything that I can do to help push y'all's projects forward, even outside of mechanical pencil, outside of politicking, anything, let me know.
Sir.
I'm down to help. If you guys need me to put you in front of distribution or maybe some other people that you're trying to get a hold of, you haven't been able to quite knock down that door or talk to those individuals. If I have access to them or if I have a way in, I'll definitely try my hand at making that way in and making that connection happen. um,
Thank
that's
you.
that's really what I want to do, and I love seeing new young emerging talent, talented talent,
Hey,
make it. You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? Lastly, I like to give my guests the final word, whether that be a piece of advice, a quote that you like to live by, or words of encouragement. You can say one of the three, or you can say all three. It's up to you. And we'll go with ladies first, obviously, and we'll start with Tyler this time.
I'll do two. Words of encouragement. There's an Eartha Kitt quote, which I absolutely adore. I've adored it since I was little, where she says the price you pay for being yourself is worth it. And I think in an industry full of no's, like you said, in an industry full of people searching for identity through characters, through
Mhm,
ideologies, through whatever,
mhm.
rooting and grounding yourself in God and going forward in His will never steer you wrong. Whatever it is, that is where you will find your peace and your contentment. Um, and yeah, support young Black creatives because we're doing wonderful work. We are. We're doing wonderful work, and we would love to continue doing wonderful work.
Awesome, awesome.
Ladies,
Yes, Amari.
Southern Shouty.
Let me see. One, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, of course.
Oh man.
And just, I feel like what everybody is saying, but please continue to just network across, please continue to work within your community.
Hmm.
My projects would literally not be what it is without God and the people that show up. So if you have creatives, if like, just reach out and grow together because it really does make a world of a difference. So yeah.
And we'll bounce back to Palmer.
So, I guess my quote would be, let your light show shine before man. And that leads me to my advice. Just be yourself in every room you walk into. That's something that I've had to train myself to do, like not to dim my light
Hmm.
to I guess like fit in, because what God has placed in me and all of us in this conversation is special to who we are. And so if we don't tap into that, you can feel the unauthenticity, like you can feel it in the work, you know? So
Hmm.
just be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. That is my advice.
Love it, love it. And last but not least, Dasan.
Man, what's for you will find you. If you
Amen.
have a dream, don't just sit around. Go get it. Go chase it. Take a risk out on faith. It don't matter where you from. It's gonna come. Just keep the faith. Keep pushing, and it's gonna get there. Let's get it.
Amen. Amen. Well, I'd like to thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your journeys, and sharing about Politickin series, Mechanical Pencil, Dasan, with you and your journey in acting, and just all around learning a lot more about each one of you, was great. It's fulfilling for me, and I'm good to see that TV and film is in good hands, man, with the next generation for sure. Um, like I said, I'm excited to see where you guys take the series, your future projects, and anything else that you do, whether it's behind the camera, in front of the camera. Um, you guys are now part of the Black Script team. Is there anything that I can do to help? um, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So you got a fan in me and a friend in me. So let's keep things going and make it happen.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you. This
you.
was great.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys.